What do you think? When you wake up in the morning and take a look at yourself in the mirror, what do you think? What's the first thing that you see? You see your appearance, maybe your smile, or maybe your hair. But I want you to take a closer look at yourself and find that voice inside of you. Take a closer look and listen to it carefully. It'll be very quiet at first, but if you listen closely, it'll tell you exactly who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. It'll tell you whether you're on the right path or not. And most importantly, it will tell you the truth about yourself. If you ask me what the secret to success is, it's this: your inner voice. If you can harness the power of your inner voice, then no one can stop you from achieving success because your inner voice is always right. Have you ever felt like giving up on your dreams? I'm sure all of you have. There are times when we feel so tired and demotivated that all we want to do is throw in the towel and quit. On those dark days, that inner voice is our guiding light. When you feel like quitting, your inner voice tells you to keep going. When you don't believe in yourself, your inner voice tells you that you can do it. Your inner voice is the personification of your soul. It knows who you truly are. It knows your potential. We all have an inner voice, but most people ignore it. They don't listen to what it has to say because it doesn't make sense, or they're afraid of what it might tell them. Some of us try to drown out that voice by partying, doing drugs, having meaningless flings, or simply wasting time on social media. Whatever the case may be, we try to avoid listening to that voice. Do you know why? Because deep down inside, we know that that voice is right. It's our intuition telling us things that we don't necessarily want to hear. I want you to remember something. Whenever you're feeling low, whenever you're feeling insecure or unmotivated, remember that your inner voice is your greatest friend. It's always there for you, always supporting you, always believing in you, even when you don't believe in yourself. It never gets tired of you complaining. It never gets annoyed by your failures. All it asks for is for you to listen to it. The only reason why you're not successful yet is because you're not listening to that inner voice. That inner voice knows how to get you to the top, but it needs you to listen to it. So how do you find your inner voice? It's already inside you. I promise you that. It's been with you since the day you were born. However, most people spend their entire lives without ever listening to what it has to say. Finding your inner voice isn't some magical, mystical thing. It's really just about spending some time alone with yourself and listening to that little voice inside of you. How do you find your inner voice? By being quiet? Most people are so busy talking, watching TV, listening to music, or otherwise stimulating themselves that they've completely blocked out that inner voice. Spend some time alone in nature. Go for a walk in the woods, go to the beach, go hiking, or simply sit under a tree and think. The more time you spend in nature, the more you'll start to hear that inner voice. You'll notice that it's much easier to listen to that inner voice in nature because there's no distractions. No one can hear you and no one can see you. This is important because when you're trying to find your inner voice, you need to be completely relaxed. If you're constantly worried about what other people think of you, then you'll never be able to find that inner voice. Remember, it's not about what other people think of you. It's about what you think of yourself. Do you know why I love nature so much? It's because it makes me feel so small and insignificant. And that's a good thing. When you realize how small and insignificant you are, then you'll start to listen to that inner voice. You'll start to realize that your problems aren't really that big of a deal. For example, if you see a bird flying past you, you won't think, "Wow, that bird is really good at flying." Instead, you'll think, "Wow, flying must be really fun." That's the kind of mindset you need to have when you're trying to find your inner voice. Be a small fish in a big pond. Don't try to be the biggest fish in a tiny puddle. I have a question for you. What's the difference between a small fish in a big pond and a big fish in a small puddle? The answer is simple. A small fish in a big pond keeps swimming and growing, while a big fish in a small puddle eventually dies. Think about it. If you're a big fish in a small puddle, then you're the best thing that puddle has ever seen. You're the smartest, strongest, and most beautiful thing in that puddle. But what happens when you reach the maximum size that puddle can hold? You die. That's why it's always better to be a small fish in a big pond. Keep growing and keep learning, even if it means that you'll never reach the top. Because if you do reach the top, then what? You'll be the biggest fish in a small puddle, and you don't want that. You see, life is all about perspective. If you look at life from a negative perspective, then you'll see all of the bad things in life. If you look at life from a positive perspective, then you'll see all of the good things in life. So, when you're trying to find your inner voice, remember these two things. 1. Be relaxed and calm. You can't listen to your inner voice when you're stressed out and anxious. And 2. Have a positive mindset. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive. Some of you might be thinking, well, how do I know that what my inner voice is telling me is actually true? How do I know that I'm not just making things up? This is a very good question. And the answer is simple. You just know. Deep down inside, you just know that what your inner voice is telling you is right. You don't need any proof. You don't need any logical explanations. You just know. It's like when you have a gut feeling about something. You just know that it's right, even if you can't explain it. That's how you know that you're listening to your inner voice and not your ego. You know, we all have an ego. It's that part of us that wants to be successful, that wants to be happy, that wants to be loved. But sometimes our ego gets in the way. Sometimes our ego makes us do things that we shouldn't do. It makes us act in ways that we wouldn't normally act. It makes us say things that we don't mean. When you're listening to your inner voice, remember to ignore your ego. Your ego is the loud, obnoxious part of you that everyone hates. Your inner voice is the quiet, humble part of you that everyone loves. So remember, brothers, the next time you're feeling down, the next time you don't believe in yourself, remember that you have an inner voice. It's always there for you, always supporting you, always believing in you. All you have to do is listen to it. And if you do, then no one can stop you from being successful. Thank you.